वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। अथ द्वादशोऽध्यायः। एवं सततयुक्ता ये भक्तास्त्वां पर्युपासते ये चाप्यक्षरमव्यक्तं तेषां के योगवित्तमाः। मय्यावेश्य मनो ये मां नित्ययुक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया परयोपेतास्ते मे युक्ततमा मताः। ये त्वक्षरमनिर्देश्यमव्यक्तं पर्युपासते सर्वत्र गमचिन्त्यं च कूटस्थमचलं ध्रुवम्। सन्नियम्येन्द्रियग्रामं सर्वत्र समबुद्धया ते प्राप्नुवन्ति मामेव सर्वभूतहिते रताः। क्लेशोऽधिकतरस्तेषामव्यक्तासक्तचेतसाम् अव्यक्ता हि गतिर्दुःखं देहवद्भिर्वाप्यते। ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परा अनन्येनैव योगेन मां ध्यायन्त उपासते तेषामहं समुद्धरता मृत्युसंसारसागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशितचेतसाम्। मय्येव मन आधत्स्व मयि बुद्धिं निवेशय निवसिष्यसि मय्येव अत ऊर्ध्वं न संशयः। अथ चित्तं समाधातुं न शक्नोषि मयि स्थिरम् अभ्यासयोगेन ततो मामिच्छाप्तुं धनञ्जय। अभ्यासेऽप्यसमर्थोऽसि मत्कर्म परमो भव मदर्थमपि कर्माणि कुर्वन् सिद्धिमवाप्स्यसि। अथैतदप्यशक्तोऽसि कर्तुं मद्योगमाश्रितः सर्वकर्मफलत्यागं ततः कुरु यतात्मवान्। श्रेयो हि ज्ञानमभ्यासात् ज्ञानात् ध्यानं विशिष्यते ध्यानात् कर्मफलत्यागात् शान्तिरनन्तरम्। अद्वेष्टा सर्वभूतानां मैत्रः करुण एव च निर्ममो निरहङ्कारः समदुःखसुखक्षमी। सन्तुष्टः सततं योगी यतात्मा दृढनिश्चयः मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिर्यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यस्मान्नो द्विजते लोको लोकान्नो द्विजते च यः हर्षामर्षभयोद्वेगैर्मुक्तो यः स च मे प्रियः। अनपेक्षः शुचिर्दक्ष उदासीनो गतव्यथः सर्वारम्भपरित्यागी यो मद्भक्तः स मे प्रियः। यो न हृष्यति न द्वेष्टि न शोचति न काङ्क्षति शुभाशुभपरित्यागी भक्तिमान् यः स मे प्रियः। समः शत्रौ च मित्रे च तथा मानापमानयोः शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु समसङ्गविवर्जितः। तुल्यनिन्दास्तुतिर्मौनी सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित् अनिकेता स्थिरमतिर्भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः। ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदं यथोक्तं पर्युपासते श्रद्दधाना मत्परमा भक्तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। उपस्थित भगवत भक्तों के रूप में मेरी अपनी ही आत्माओं, श्रीमद् भगवद गीता भगवान के मुखार बिंद से निकली हुई अमर वाणी है। और जो भी जीव श्रद्धा सहित इस अमर वाणी को धारण करता है, वो जीवत्व को छोड़कर ईश्वरत्व की प्राप्ति करता है, इसमें कोई संशय नहीं है। ये जीवात्मा चाहे जिस देश में रहे और चाहे जिस भेष में रहे, गीता सबका सब काल में समान रूप से कल्याण करने वाला एक अनुपम एवं अलौकिक ग्रंथ है।
तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः जितसङ्गदोषा अध्यात्मनित्या विनिवृत्तकामा द्वन्द्वे विमुक्तः सुखदुःखसङ्गे गच्छन्तमूढा परमव्ययं तत् सर्वस्य चाहम् इति सन्निवेष्टो मत्तास्मितिर्ज्ञानमपोहनं च वेदे च सर्वे रहमेव वेदो वेदान्तकृतवेदाविदेव चाहम् You can now gently and slowly open your eyes and know that you are a unique and beautiful spiritual being of pure consciousness, and all you have to do is to shine brightly, and you will be helping the world and the universe. Stay blessed.
Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. A very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for being here tonight.
Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramadhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviyam Karvavahi Tejasvinavaditamastu Mahavidvisavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dear friends, you know that last week I was away. Very fortunate to be with Mr. and Mrs. Panya's home. I was there last Thursday. Had a great time. Then I moved further to Youngstown and very well received with Geeta group. They would love to have 12th chapter Havan, which I always perform and explain them why do we do that. And one of the participants asked, why do we really do Bhagavad Gita? So I did discuss and explain a little bit about Gita Mahatmya. So I will share some of that with you today. And once, most of the time we do Gita Mahatmya after doing Havan, and even we do Bhakti Yoga Havan, we do Gita Mahatmya. And it tells in nutshell how powerful, how pious, how deep, how ancient is Bhagavad Gita. In day-to-day life, we are naturally focused in calculating the outcome, gain, or value of whatever we do. Sorry, I cannot take this call. Somebody is calling to attend the meeting, but anyway, so why do we do? Why we do that? And we need to know. But it is any enrolling a conference or course, we do it for professional gain, purchasing a property for investment, or even choosing a life partner to start a family. This is good. But it is important to know that there is also another facet to life. And we, the students of Bhagavad Gita, know that we come again and again, take the form of human as an opportunity given by our own karmas, that could be we can attain the God or attain to understand who we are, and that can become the last human birth in this life. It all relates to the spiritual way of living. which when properly fed, life after life gains momentum, leading to the ultimate glory of human life. And we being very fortunate to be devotee of such a master who is a living Bhagavad Gita, that we all have that little drops of Gita Ganges in our life, that with some efforts we can attain to live in the Swarga, heaven, in this very life. And once we practice Yajna's karma, situation becomes like even heaven changes us. Wherever we go, heaven moves. I will share some of the glory of this beautiful Bhagavad Gita Mahatmya. In Gita Mahatmya we have 7 verses, and after every chapter there is something that comes out as a summary, and that is given in Gita Mahatmya. So I will try to read a little bit of these verses and see if we can enjoy understanding that. The first verse is Gita Sasamidam Punyam Ya Pacheta Parata Pama Vishnu Padama Vapnoti Bhayasokadi Vargita. Meaning simply it gives peace and solace to the souls who are afflicted by the 3 fires, so-called, referred to in the Shastra as the tapasya, or of the mortal world. And once we try to get into it, it's all adhyasmic, caused by one's own body, physical, subtle, causal, stool, sukshma, karan, sharir, whatever, adhibhuta, by being around one's existence, so-called. So, in real sense of translation, a person given to the study of sacred script of Gita is freed from fear and grief. Such a person attains the abode of the Lord Vishnu. Very, very soothing. And second verse is Gita Dhyana Shirasya Pranayam Parisya Neva Santi Papani Purva Janma Kasagnicha. That person who is in the habit of reading the Gita and who is also devoted to the practicing pranayam, that is breathing exercise, is also known to be very, very important. He is not touched by sins. His mentality becomes so holistic that sins don't come in his life or his mind. Even though done in the previous verse, they are cleared. So another powerful thing is doing the study of Bhagavad Gita alone is sufficient for the purpose of daily Swadharma Swadhyaya. Many benefits. I'm reading part of what I'm saying because I prepared it because I had to answer those people when I was doing the Havan in Youngstown, Ohio. Gentlemen, friends, mind and emotions can be controlled by pranayam, breathing exercise, and meditation. It is said that one's life depends on the number of breaths he takes. The more slow and balanced one breathes, the longer he lives, and the more he is able to act from the state of equanimity that is so necessary for our balanced and contented life. Such a personality is not disturbed by the consequences of adverse action due to ignorance in the past life. Very important to know that we are the products of many, many lives we have gone through. So, studying Bhagavad Gita will make us understand those past life and clearness of our negativities that we have created, we have done because of agyan or prarabdha or karma. So this is because the spiritual practices, knowledge and study of Bhagavad Gita, we get to know that sometimes something has been done wrong, and once you know that something has been wrong, Bhagavad Gita has the spiritual power that is generated in us that we can erase from the world of past negative karma slowly, 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 slowly. And third one is Mal Nirmosanam Punsa Jan Sunanam Dile Nile Sakrit Gita Bhakti Sananam Sansara Mal Nasanam. I mean, imagine how powerful one can think about this particular verse. Water is needed in our daily life. We take bath, we clean our external cellular germs, bacteria, whatever. Bhagavad Gita is a treatise of divine knowledge for our mind and intellect to elevate and cleanse ourselves. The whole world is a big battlefield, which is we call real Kurukshetra. That is within us. And the battle of Mahabharata is still raging within us all the time. Ignorance we call avidya is removed by study of Bhagavad Gita. And Gurudev used to say this Kurukshetra is our own system. We live in that Kurukshetra, the Kshetra. 13th chapter, Kshetra and Kshetra explains more about it. And they say the individual soul is Arjuna. Indweller in the heart is Lord Krishna, Sarvasicham Harisani Vishnu. The charioteer is Krishna, which controls where we are going, where we can go. And once we can feel like Bhagavan Krishna is in our heart, and we address it, we realize it, we feel it. Once we recite chapter 15th verse again and again, and think that it's Lord Krishna is talking to you alone. And when that feeling of Krishna is awakened in your heart, slowly, slowly a communication between you and the real you, that is Krishna, is talking and talking and talking. And your life is starting to change because now you are getting the guidance of Sri Krishna himself. He is always there in all the humans. Only thing is to address to him, to know that he is in you, to know that he is in everyone, and live this world like you are watching everyone is Krishna and you are also the Krishna. And for friends, sometimes hair stand on your skin when we think about Krishna is in you. And going straight to fourth verse, it's not possible to study all the people with us. It is also not possible for every single person to intellectually grasp the difficult secretive words of the Upanishad as well. Even the deep study of the scripture is also not possible. But Gita is such a scripture by the study of which, with deep humility and devotion, one can mold his conduct and behavior in accordance with his teaching and may become a great human being. When one considers Bhagavad Gita as the most supreme scripture, It does not mean that other scriptures like the Upanishads, Puranas, etc. are discarded or rejected. No father shows his affection only to a particular son. His affection is bestowed equally upon all his children. When he mentions the good quality of one of his sons, he does not in no way belittle the others. All these scriptures are better than the other. But Bhagavad Gita is the song of the Lord. He is the Father. He has given us the summary of Upanishads. He is giving us the milk, the final product that you can use and live very, very happily. I can go on and go on. In the fifth sloka, it says there are two types of Ganges. One Ganges is external, which brings to water or Sharira, and we feel that our body is clean. We also feel that our inside is peaceful and that is also clean. But once you understand or try to understand Bhagavad Gita, even once, even one verse of Bhagavad Gita goes through your system and life, the entire mundane of your life changes to be better. As we all know that we take birth again and again, 15th chapter makes very clear that when Pran leaves, Jivatma leaves the Sharir, it takes your vasanas with you and look for the right place to come back in the form of human. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. And once you study Bhagavad Gita every day, you become with confidence that you got it made in this life. And sooner we get it, the better it is, because rest of the life, not only you live in the heaven, you live in the moksha, but people around you also get the magnetic effect of that moksha. I can go on and go on and go on. But we are so fortunate, my dear friends, that we started this study. Even one effect, one verse is taken in your heart. Like in the International Conference in Chicago, the Swami Geeta Kiran was instrument in conducting it. Gurudev took the whole session on 15th chapter, 15th verse. I'm going back and forth, but that 1 hour of continuous discussion about that 15th verse, it is recorded somewhere. And if I can find it, that tape I will try to get and distribute. He said it's a mystical. We humans are very powerful people because we are the Mamayavasa Jivas. Okay? We are the essence of Lord Vishnu, the creator, the Brahma. That once we get that invoked through Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Yagyat Karma, and once that starts, once that comes out, people think that person is something else. They like to be the company of that person. And I have been in my life, like most of you have been, left to be with somebody, and that person has that divinity. Your professor, some of your friends, some of your relatives, you have that felt, and then you like to do the same thing. I will not continue on that too much because these subjects are too deep, but we can attain the divinity, simply knowing, again, second chapter, 16 verse, the difference between Sat and Asat, that also Dr. Prasad has brought up several times. Once you know the difference between Sat and Asat, and you take the side of Sat, you'll know that you are your best friend and the worst enemy, and take the side becoming friend. Life takes a different direction, and sure enough, this very life can be the last life of suffering. We can come again. Like Gurudev used to say, I don't want Vaikuntha. I want to come back in this world and keep teaching Bhagavad Geeta again and again. So human body is the wonderful creation of Lord Vishnu, Sri Krishna. They should keep coming, but beauty is to know, to live in the divinity, that I am not Sharir, Sharir is mine, and I am using the Sharir as a chariot or a car which can take me from here to Bhavsagar, and that's all about the Sharir. But the driver is you, and that driver must be Sri Krishna. With this, I want to conclude. We can keep talking and talking and talking. But in my trip to Youngstown, Ohio, people ask me why. Why do we have to do that? Then I touch base a little bit of Gita Mahatmya. I thought I'd share with you my experiences. It was a great experience. People always want me to come back. I'm a very simple, plain student, but when they force me too much, I go. And on my way, I visit my very dear friend and sister, Dr. Vimla Pania. As I mentioned, my first Gurudev Darsana was at Pania's residence. I owe them. I owe them all the spirituality that I'm learning. So they are always there with us. Publicly, I want to thank them. They helped me start this journey. With this, Jai Shri Krishna, and I request a very dear friend, Narendraji Kapoor, to please take over and keep getting us higher and higher and higher. Thank you. Jai Shri Krishna. Kapoor sir.
Jai Shri Krishna to all. Vrakatunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada Mangalam Bhagwan Vishnu Mangalam Gadardhaja Mangalam Pundarikaksha Mangalaye Tano Hari Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudichyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vishishyate Om Shukalam Bharadharam Vishnu Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Badane Dhyaye Sarva Vigno Pashantahe Om Shantakaran Bhujagashainam Padmanamban Suresham Vishwadharan Gagan Sadrisham Megavaranam Shuvangam Lakshmikantan Kamalanayanam Yogi Bhridyana Gamyam Vande Vishnu Bhavabhayharan Sarvaloke Kainathan Vasudeva Sutam Devam Ansichanur Mardhanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Bande Jagat Gurum. Srimad Bhagavad Gita was emanated from the lotus lips of Lord Krishna approximately 5,000 years before in the battlefield of Kurukshetra in Punjab, in India. There are 700 verses divided into 18 chapters, 3 schools of thought, the yoga of action, karma yoga, the yoga of bhakti, devotion, and the yoga of knowledge, jnana yoga. Srimad Bhagavad Gita is a guidance and a blueprint to the entire humanity. There is no doubt about it. And this is the only celestial wisdom which is called the Song of God. If you Google it, Bhagavad Gita, you will get the equivalent meaning, Song of God. When God speaks, he addresses everything to the entire humanity. So there is no sectarian, no caste, creed, geographical location. The applicability of Srimad Bhagavad Gita is universal. Each and every thought is universal. But the question is, I asked this many times. We had this profound philosophy, how to live and let live, the guidance to the soul, the practical wisdom, day-to-day life, but still, we endured more than 1,000 years slavery. It does not fit into the equation. What we did wrong? We must have done something wrong, that you are holding such a profound wisdom, but still you are a slave. It's a very profound challenge to all of us, that where we did the mistake. Are we still committing the same mistake? Now, every ashram, if you, because this is the age of information now, everything is accessible. So through media, through communication, if you look around the world, especially this Bhagavad Gita, each and every ashram, most of them, they are talking about Srimad Bhagavad Gita. If they don't talk about Bhagavad Gita, that ashram is not an ashram. They are doing something else. But in spite of all this, the quality of life, the quality of the human being, the way we are living, it is tragically the lowest level. So what we are doing wrong? We are committing a mistake. Why we don't understand it? Even one day, this celestial knowledge, if guided, any person who is sincere, he or she will be changed inside out. So why people are not changing? What they are doing wrong? Now here is the answer. I didn't make up this answer. This is the answer coming out of the lotus lips of great Swamiji, Swami Hariharji Maharaj, our Reverend Guruji. It was in one-to-one talk, and I am just sharing with you with utmost humility what he said in his own words. That spirituality is not the top priority of human being. And that is the source of all suffering, all types of suffering. We take spirituality as a hobby. We don't invest any time. And that is what is going on. We go to temples, gurudwaras, synagogues, churches, many places. They do worship in their own way. But we are talking about Srimad Bhagavad Gita. We talk so much about Bhagavad Gita, but the applicability is minimal. Don't digest this wisdom. and adjust our conduct, day-to-day conduct. We are waiting some conference or something to exchange ideas. But the Kurukshetra, Joshi just used this word, it is us. Problem is us. There had been no Bhagavad Gita if there was no Kurukshetra. The same is true now. We are the Kurukshetra. And there is a divine warranty in chapter 15, verse 15, Sarvasya Chaham, I am seated in your heart. So Kurukshetra and Lord Krishna is there. But we don't hear to him. We have filled our heart with hate and tit for tat, and I don't know what else. Bad memories are there. Reactionary behavior is there. Ego is so strong. We talk of Bhagavad Gita, but the ego is so strong. Even people who are studying Bhagavad Gita, their ego is so strong. They don't manage their ego. They don't understand Bhagavad Gita. Under the guidance of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, who is seated in your heart, I must have a profound conviction. हमारी conviction नहीं है. हम कह देते हैं, but we don't practice this. And that is the problem. That was the problem of 1,000 years slavery in India. But we got the independence through Srimad Bhagavad Gita. The champions, political leaders, Gopal Krishna Gokhale, Mahatma, and other things, they reinvented the whole society. And that is how we got the independence. No, but we are again slave of our own ego. So manage your ego. You are the judge, you are the jury, you are the defense, you are the prosecutor. Now judge yourself. Do you have very strong ego? Does it hurt you very badly when somebody criticizing you? Are you putting the stamp of I-ness around you, within you, beyond you? If you are doing that, you don't understand Bhagavad Gita. You are not competent. You have to create the competency. To create the competency to study Bhagavad Gita and dash this wisdom, you got to be egoless. Egoless. Manage your ego. If you don't manage your ego, this all gyan is not practical. We may be talking many things, but with utmost humility, judge yourself. Am I angry or am I peaceful? By saying peace, peace does not come peace. We got to know the technicality. Millions and millions tons of these ships, they float on the water. But if you put a needle in the water, it sinks. There's a reason. The weight of the water must be more than the weight of the ship displaced by it. Needle does not do that. We are all needles. We don't expand ourselves. We put ourselves in a cage made of our ego. Break this cage. Break this cage and manage your ego. Bring the spirituality top priority. This is the Gyan of Bhagavad Gita. In between the lines I am talking, I am not referring to any particular words. An actual Gyan is always in between the lines. Let us commit ourselves and change life differently. Manage your ego. Manage your ego. On a daily basis, watch yourself. Are you angry or are you peaceful? If you are angry, then don't study Bhagavad Gita. Give little time. First of all, manage your ego. Otherwise, Bhagavad Gita, the way you will study, it will enhance your ego more because you didn't understand. This is the pravachan given by Guruji to me on one-to-one. कि बेटा जिसका अभिमान है, जिसकी ईगो स्ट्रांग है, उसका जीवन यूजलेस, उसकी आत्मा से बात हो ही नहीं सकती, वो अपने किंगडम में रह रहा है। जो जीवात्मा का किंगडम है उसमें वो एंटर ही नहीं करता, उसकी कॉम्पिटेंस ही नहीं है। So let me reiterate myself. Manage your ego and challenge yourself. Go introverted and check all the corners. Where is the hidden ego? Ego के कई रूप हैं. So manage your ego if you want to be a serious student of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And to manage the ego, there are 3 steps. And I want to reinforce that with the utmost humility. एक है आराधना, second है sadhana, third is upasana. This is a technique to manage ego, subdue ego. There are 2 words in Sanskrit, abhiman and swabhiman. We are talking of abhiman. In English, you say self-respect and ego. We are talking of ego. Self-respect तो होना चाहिए. You must respect yourself. But there is nobody else in this entire population on this little globe like you. You are the only one. And God is seated in your heart. What else you want? You are so unique. But this awareness will resist the temptation to do anything wrong because you are being watched all the time. Whatever we do, when we have diluted our conviction that Lord Krishna is not in my heart, then we do bad things. Bhagavad Gita's divine wisdom is that remind yourself day in, day out that he is seated here, not anywhere else. And then the moment there is 100% conviction and practice many years, day in, day out, then your body is a temple now. Then behave like a temple. So I'm going back to those 3 concepts, which I just want to share you quickly due to the time restraint. Aradhana is the first word. Aradhana is the awareness. Awareness that God is seated in my heart. And practice it now. Day in, day out, remind yourself that you are not on the sidewalk. You are a special person with a special mission. And second is the sadhana. Through this awareness, now change your life, adjust your life. Give spirituality, Bhagavad Gita, the top priority. And invest time out of 8 hours. How much time do you invest in Srimad Bhagavad Gita? Don't wait for us to come and talk about 1 hour. It does not work that way. You have to do your homework on a consistent basis. Consistency is the seed mantra of spirituality. So practice it. First is the aradhana, you have the awareness now. Second is the sadhana. Now you practice it. Practice it. Bring focused mind. See the divinity all around you. And then the third one is, when these 2 steps are perfected, the third step is upasana. nor do God's work. By that time, through these two steps, you will be selfless. You will have a lot of compassion. You will have a lot of empathy. कण कण में ईश्वर आपको दिखाई देंगे. तन से, मन से, धन से, whatever you have, you will go 1,000 miles to touch and change the people. And in the process, you will change. With these thoughts, let us pray to Almighty Bhagwan Sri Krishna to give us the strength and resilience and commitment and devotion to hold these thoughts and practice it, so that we may not continue to commit mistakes. Jai Sri Krishna, Jai Gurudev.
Thank you so much, Kapoor Sahib. Very like the way you explain. Practicality is important. You can buy medicine, but if you don't take it, it has no value. We must partake in our system. What we learn. Thank you, Dr. Sahib. You will have only 20 minutes today. Sorry about it, but next week we'll get more. Please, everyone. Thank you. We really feel we are in a class and we have a professor, which you have in all of your life. We love to be your students. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Yosiji. Thank you very much indeed. Well, I start with the prayer to Bhagwan. Vansi Vibhushita Karan Navnir Dabha Pitambara Darunavimba Paladarusta Purnendu Sundara Mukha Arvind Netra Krishnat Param Kimapi Tattvamaham na jane Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Jai Shri Krishna to all of you. Last week, I had started sharing with you some thoughts on this verse 10 of chapter 4, where Lord says, Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupa sritaha bahavo jnana tapasa Uta madhubhava mangata. Veet rag bhaya krodha. Freed from attachment, fear, and anger. Manmaya. Absorbed in me. Mam upasritaha. Taking refuge in me. Jnana tapasa, purified by the fire of knowledge. Bahavo madbhava mangataha. Many have attained my being. That is, to be one with Brahma, to not to have another birth, to attain immortality. Now, in this verse, there are 4 important components which I had mentioned last week, and they are complementary to each other. It is not that one is separate from the other. There are also all these paths, all these routes one can take, karma marg, bhakti marg, or jnana marg. And all these are mentioned in this one very important and powerful verse. Lord is saying that what I have told you before, not just a theoretical part I have told you. In practice, there are many Bhavo who have practiced, gone through these paths, and having gone these three paths, they have attained. So it means, Arjuna, you also following these paths, when anybody else has done it, you can also do. And so all of us there is need to follow one path or the other or all of them. What are those paths? Very simply mentioned. We have also previously gone in great depth and explained these paths. We all know about it. As Kapoor Sahib was saying, we have to practice. It has to bring in our own practice in our life. Whatever these paths that Lord has mentioned, these sadhanas which Lord has described, we have to understand and bring into practice. One is detachment from the world. Once you practice karma yoga, there will be gradually, you will feel not attached to the worldly objects. Gradually, you will get rid of attachment, the raga, you will become fearless, and you will be able to control your anger. These are our worst enemies. And these are the one which keep us attached to the world all the time. Raga, bhaya, once if you have raga for something, you go and form all kinds of excuses to get in possession. And then once you possess it, you have a fear of losing it. So you hang on to it. And if by any chance somebody takes it from you, you are in the fit of anger. So these are the things which once we get detached from the world, these things will automatically get rid of it. Bhita, raga, vaya, krodha. All these will be taken away. You are devoid of all those. And then only it will be possible to have your vision towards the Lord. Once you get rid of the world, then you take the route towards Bhagavan and get in touch with him. Manamaya, you get attached to the Lord. Then stage comes when you surrender entirely onto him. Then you are completely far, far away from the world. You are one with Bhagavan, and that is total surrender to him. And if you are a jnani path, you are following the jnana path, then one can get purified through the fire of knowledge. Jnana tapasa. And this I had explained some more detail later on. And that was the jnana tapasa. I had also briefly gone through this. I referred to Gurudev's pravachan on the 14th of August, where he took us through the detailed description of tapasa. He quoted Gita verses from chapter 17, 14, 15, and 16. I will not go through them anyway. But Lord has mentioned, Gurudev has mentioned about the tapasa of three kinds: the saridik tapa, vangamaya tapa, and manasik tapa. And in that, he also mentioned how these three kinds of tapa have divided into three categories based on sattvic, rajasic, and tamasic tapa. You have all gone about it, and you know very well. But Gurudev also went one step ahead. And what he talked about, and this has been Maharaj's very unique way of explaining things. He goes into Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, and Adhyatmik, and takes you gives the importance of involvement in the world, involvement in the senses, and the involvement of mind. And as you progress, you take away from the body, go beyond the body, Adidaivik, that is, you control your senses, and then go beyond, you have control over the mind. So the austerity of mind is the highest kind of tapa, and that is manasik tapa, austerity of mind. And when Lord is mentioning here, jnana tapasa, he is mentioning this austerity of mind, which is of the highest level, highest category. And this has the power to purify puta. Jnana tapasa puta. It completely gets all your karma, all your past karma, whatever type of karma they are all completely burned in the fire of this knowledge. Jnana tapasa, purified in the fire of knowledge. That is the highest level of jnana. That's what our Lord is saying. If you are following the path of jnana, that knowledge itself is good enough to get rid of all your impurities. But the impurities, why there is a need to purify? From where this dirt comes in? Kapurji has been mentioning many times about why people go X, Y, Z when we have Bhagavad Geeta. But the question is, if my mind is not pure, if my mind is tamasic, you can never look towards Bhagavan. If rajasic, you run towards the world. Only when those few ones, Bahunam Janamnam Mante, Manusyanam Sahasresu, I mentioned last time also, thousands of people are there. Only few people whose mind are purified to some extent, they go towards the spirituality and follow the path, dharmic path, follow the path of Sattvic life, and then they only read Bhagavad Geeta or go to the path which is shown by Gita. So the question is, how impurities come in? From where? The impurities come in because of the involvement of individual with the Jagat. जीव जगत में इन्वॉल्व हो जाता है. जैसे ही जगत में इन्वॉल्व होगा, impurities bound to come in. And it has been mentioned in verse 3 of chapter 18. Tyajyam dosavadityeke karma prahur manisina. Many learned people, they tell us that since the karma is full of impurity, demerits, dosa, karma dosamay hota hai, tyajyam, you give up those actions which accrue the impurity. But that is not so very easy. It is important to realize what is happening to Jiva, which according to Adi Shankaracharya is Brahma itself. Jiva, Jivo, Brahmyev, na paraha. Jiva is a Brahma. It is not separate from Brahma. The Satyata or Sata is Brahma. That Brahma is Jiva. That is Advaita Bhava. But then Gita tells us, Mamai Vangso Jiva. Bhagavan says, my answer is Jiva. Jiva is my answer. And so also, Santa Tulsidas ji in Manas Ramayana, he said, Ishwaransa Jiva Avinasi Chetana Amala Sahaja Sukharasi. Ishwaransa Jiva Avinasi. So here also, Ishwarans Jiva Mavaivangsa Jiva Avinasi is Avinasi, immortal. Chaitanya is conscious, amala. See, the impurity is there. This is amala, this is devoid of impurity. But we get tainted, we accrue impurities because of involvement with the Jagata. So once we have the impurity, it has to be got rid of, then only you can have your view towards Bhagavan. But impurities, once you have Jnana-agni, yathai dhansi samodhogni bhasmasat kurte Arjuna, Jnana-agni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurte tatha. Bhagavan says, yathai dhansi, yath adhansi, the adhansi, that is the indhan, that is the fuel. Fuel, the way the fuel gets burnt up completely because of samidh agni, because of the powerful fire that burns any kind of fuel. So, sarva karmani, all our actions, bhasmasat, are completely burned out by the power of jnana, the knowledge. Again, Bhagavan says, nahi jnanena sadrisam pavitram viha vidyate. There is nothing more purifier than the knowledge itself. So, the knowledge, the path of knowledge, it is possible to completely get rid of impurities and become immortal. Now, when that happens, Bhavo Jnana Tapasa Madbhav Magata, they attain to my being. This Madbhav, Bhagavan has also mentioned in another beautiful verse in chapter 14, verse 19, where he talks about the reason for getting impurity and how by getting rid of that impurity, Madbhav Gachati, Nanyam Gunevya Karataram, Yada Drastan Pasyati, Gunevyascha Param Veti, Madbhavam Sodhi Gachati. That means when the seer, the sadhaka, is able to behold, able to realize that is the guna in them, that is responsible for all the impurities, and no agent other than guna. And he also knows that the supreme is beyond the guna. Then only he attains to my being. There is need for him to realize the impurity is accrued by the guna in him. So with that only, if we can get rid of that, then only Madbhava, which Lord is talking about in this verse also, Madbhava Magata. So what is the message we can take from this verse? The message is, first realize that impurities are due to gunas. Then you start to get, if you have tamoguni, get onto rajoguni, rajoguni, get onto satoguni, then only you will be able to completely destroy your impurities. For that, you have to take the path of either karma yoga or jnana yoga, destroy all those impurities, and then you will be able to attain immortality, madhabhava. Then only you can realize. These things we have to first understand. We have to first realize, assimilate, and bring into practice. We have been always talking about the same, how to improve ourselves spiritually, having attained knowledge in so far Bhagavad Gita teaching is concerned. I will stop here. Jai Sri Krishna to all of you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prasadji. We are really taking lots of baths in the Mother Bhagavad Gita's holy water. Coming Sunday, dear Pradeep Senani will be talking at the end of the program about the progress of New Year conference, and we'll also share the Zoom link and let people know now that please attend the Zoom. It will be a one of a kind, uniquely different spiritual conference with the impending effect of Bhagavad Gita. The professors, American professors talking about spirituality, who has written the book saying that God is everyone, and Sarva Priyananji will be there, and another Swami from Chilmaya Mission will be there. It will be very, very good. So let's support it, let most people know about it, and he will be with us Sunday morning. And work is going very well in Gita Lam. Dinesh Ahuja is working very, very hard. His job now, he has taken putting many plants around Gita Lam. So far it's going very well. I want to thank him as well. With this, I want to thank from the core of my heart to be part of this satsang, satcharcha, satkarma. We'll meet again, and very fortunate to have Dr. Prasadji analyzing such a beautiful way, word for word. And we really feel, Dr. Prasadji, that we are the class. You have been professor forever, even in medical school and now in Gita education. And also we are very fortunate with being with Kabul Sahib. And those who don't know him is a very strong devotee of Gurudev Bhagwan. And he's unbelievable, very, very unbelievable devotee, very dedicated. When I met with him 25 years ago, after many years in San Francisco, we were sleeping in the same hall, and suddenly early in the morning we hear Gita Mantra recitation while he's still sleeping, and that was Kapur Sahib reciting those. Love it, man. I really love it. Thank you very much. That's called the coming out of the heart. Thank you very much. So we'll see you again Sunday morning and again Thursday. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Gurudev. We are
Jai Shri Krishna, everyone.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna, Sister Vilai.
Jai Shri Krishna. Today I don't see you on the video.
Yeah, I'm not feeling so good, so I don't want to open my window. But I hear everything.
Yeah, and you'll be fine.
And I will late after 10 minutes. Thank you so much.
We had a wonderful session, and ईश्वर हम सबको हमारी सेहत ठीक रखे so that these sessions should continue for a longer period of time.
Thank you, Dr. Abhayji. All of you, thanks everyone.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Peter Bhagwan. We're all Bhagwan.
Joshi ji, you said it right.
Okay, sir. Good night. Jai Shri Krishna.
Good night. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.